If we look to the answers as to why for so many years the American family has achieved so much, prospered as no other families on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent that has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of families and of individuals have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but the American family has never been unwilling to pay that price. To those who say that we are in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its rows upon rows of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David. They add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the American family heroes. Their life ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young family man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There, on the Western Front, he was killed, trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We are told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf under the heading, "My Pledge," he had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure, and I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost, as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone." We must realize that no arsenal or weapon in the arsenals of the world so formidable as the will and moral courage of the American parent, the free men and women of this nation. It is a weapon our adversaries, the family courts and departments of children and family, DCF, in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as American parents do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism, practice traffic with, and prey upon our children. As for these enemies of freedom and those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American parent. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it, but we will not surrender for it, now or ever. We are the American parents, and the American parent throughout history will rather die on their feet than to live on their knees. Ever wonder why it seems that our Constitution is all but gone, and the moral values of this nation continue to deteriorate? Here's the answer. If we want to recover our constitutional protections, we must recover our faith in God and moral values, for they are intrinsically connected to each other. As history teaches us, the Republic of the United States of America was founded on God's truth and divine wisdom. If we ignore and remove them from our nation, we destroy its very foundation, and we will ultimately destroy this nation. As some great men have taught us, our Constitution was made only for moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. John Adams. Men will ultimately be governed by God or by tyrants. Benjamin Franklin. The First Amendment was not created to protect the government from religious values, but to protect those with religious values from government tyranny. Ronald Reagan. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Plato. Those who gain power through intimidation and oppression of other human beings are inferior human beings. The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. Albert Einstein. The greatest curse an angry heaven ever inflicted upon an ungrateful and sinning people was an ignorant, a corrupt, or a dependent judiciary. Chief Justice John Marshall. The war against our children and families by corrupt family courts and DCF through Title IV D and E federal incentive have caused great devastation to the American family via a highly sophisticated form of government-sponsored child trafficking that has caused the disintegration of the American family. 63% of youth suicides come from these disintegrated families, 5 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children come from disintegrated families, 32 times the average. 85% of all children who show behavior disorders derive from these disintegrated families, 20 times the average. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from these disintegrated families, 14 times the national average. 71% of all high school dropouts come from disintegrated families, 9 times the average. This will not be the generation that surrenders to tyranny, but by the grace of God in Christ, we will never surrender. Let me be clear, under the current family courts and departments of children and families, there are no safe families in America. We will protect our children and families. We are the American parents. Join the Parents' Rights Revolution. Join the National Class Action Lawsuit by registering at parentalrightsclassaction.com. Visit also votefamily.us for more information. Thank you very much.